Welcome to Collaboration Conversations. I'm your host, Regina Partain Bergman, CEO of Bridgeport Strategy and co founder of the CEO Holy Grail. Once again, I am delighted to bring to you a wonderful co host that I've known for some time now and the panelists that she has brought to the show. I'm excited to get to meet everybody and learn from them today. So, first, let me welcome my good friend, Irina Strunina. Hello, Irina. How are you today?
Hello, Regina. Thank you for allowing me to bring my guests here. So I'm happy to be back. This is
Awesome.
already third time I think I'm bringing a
I think
team,
so.
and I decided that I will give you a little bit of time before I come again because
Before we come again to this
when
again.
I heard the name of this podcast that you have, Collaboration Conversations, I said, boy, do I have people to invite to here.
And she has brought some wonderful folks to the show. So, Irina is a health strategist, and I'm going to let her tell the rest about her. So, Irina, would you please share a bit about your journey getting to this place in life, who you serve, and why that's important to you?
All right. Well, yes, I am health strategist, and what I do, I am bridging the gap between the doctor's office and the rest of the lives of people who were recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I'm connecting them with the providers who can help them. So I'm helping both parts of this challenge, people who have a service that they can offer and people who need that service, but they don't know where to go and who to trust. So that's what I do. And we have a Facebook group. It's called Diabetes 101 for Beginners, just mating all those keywords, and we have over 150,000 members there. So it's a big group, active,
It's a big
and
group.
we have a lot of activities going on. So anyone knows of anyone who is lost with this diagnosis and doesn't know what to do, how to deal with that, invite them to this Facebook group. It's a public group, so they will be able to sneak around to see if they like it, to see if they find something important, and that's what I do.
Awesome. And what a valuable service you provide. You know, one might say that you are the ultimate middleman, middlewoman.
Yes, I agree.
Thank you, Irina. Would you please introduce each of our panelists that you've brought today and have them share a bit about their journey, who they serve, and why?
Now, a quick question. Do I give them an opportunity to talk
Yes,
about
one
themselves
at a
right
time.
away?
Yes,
Okay. So
yes, yes.
the whole group, I wanted to just mention it one more time. We all belong to the same community. It's called Mingle Learning Collaborative. And I meet all of them except for Jackie through this community. But I brought Jackie to the community. So she is also the member of it.
Awesome.
And I think I will start with Colleen because she is the very first one who I met in this community, and we together we've spent a lot of time training, learning, and working together. So, Colleen, this is your time to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much, Irina, for giving me the opportunity to come here and speak and just share some time with you guys. My name's Colleen Struby. I'm known as the Follow-Up Fortune Finder, and I've been doing this thing called networking for about the last 25 years. My passion is really helping others get connected. I've always found that I am like, I look at myself as the conduit, kind of like Irina's doing. We're all the conduit between people. And I just love helping people find those right places to network, figure out what to say. And then most importantly is how do I follow up and build relationships with other people? As Irina was saying, is we joined a community of people, and through that one of the things we kind of co-created my Fall in Love follow-up program, where we really help people come and get their follow-up done. So we do it in a fun, structured way that they can do that. And it's really all about building relationships.
Fantastic.
All right. The next person that I met with was Marilyn, and she entered the community and she got for herself an official name, the groupie of the community. So she enthusiastically entered and started just developing the relationships and helping everyone, and she is the wealth of knowledge and experience. So I'm happy that this time she was able to join us here.
Yeah, yeah. So I just love so much of the stuff that was going on in the community that I kept attending things, and so I felt like I deserved the title of groupie because I was there all the time. Um, so I'm Marilyn Robinson, and my journey started as a kid. I was one of those girls that played with dolls, and I role played being a mom. So I even knew at that age I wanted to be a mom. And then as I got older, I realized that, you babysit and you learn and you watch how other people parent. And I thought I knew it all. I thought, yeah, I got a lot of experience with this. And so I'm going to be a good mom. Well, I didn't start my family until I was already climbing the career ladder. So while I was climbing the career ladder at Intel and breaking the ceiling for women in the 80s, I decided to start my family. And so it was challenging. I have 3 children. They're all adults now. And I've moved on to grandma. And so the journey began with my parent coaching when my son, his wife got pregnant with my first grandson. And he said, Mom, I just hope I'm half the parent you are. And so it was like a light bulb that went off. And I said, oh my gosh, I did all of that while having my career, while enjoying the outdoors, while having a vegetable garden and hobbies at home. And I still managed not to ruin my kids. So I'm focusing on the people that are, both career minded relationships that want to decide, they want to have a family, but they don't know necessarily when or how to go about doing it and still thrive in their career. So that is who I want to help, is
Awesome.
help them get that start fast and go and be as successful as I was.
And I would just add, today, I think it's pretty hard to not ruin your kids.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
a lot of folks struggle with that today.
Yeah. It is tough.
Yeah. Yeah.
All
Irina?
right. Thank you, Marilyn. So now we're moving to Daniel because he was the next in the history of our history with Mingle. And Daniel is he's business maestro. He is, and he is teaching us. Everybody has some small businesses or bigger businesses, and he is really giving us invaluable lessons and ideas. And I am again very happy that he is available and able to be here today with us.
I'm glad I could make it. Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. Yeah, one of the great things about being in the Mingle collaborative community together is we all get nicknames. And so I got the nickname Business Maestro because my background is actually teaching music. And so I'm a conductor. How do you move from being a band director to being a business coach and consultant? Well, I'm not really sure myself, but here's what we do. We get your business humming along, just perfectly in tune, harmonizing together with everyone, all on the same page, and just making wonderful music together. So
Nice.
Love it.
there we go. Work in a few musical puns there.
That was fantastic.
So McCrane Associates is my company, and small business owners come to work with McCrane Associates because so many small business owners out there just seem to hit a wall when it comes to profitability and scalability. And not that anyone out there doesn't know how to run a business. That's not the point. But we only know what we know. And then we hit that wall and we just can't seem to break through it. So it takes someone with an outside perspective. So we bring strategies, processes, procedures, systemization to the table, and then also work with the business owner on what their legacy is going to be when they're ready to step away from the business at some point in the future. And all of that work that we do is guaranteed.
This
Excellent.
is very, very impressive to me. And it's, it's interesting because we often have conferences going on, different kinds of conferences. And Daniel very often is the speaker, especially if it is business conference. I can tell you, in the past, we had usually the session and then 3 breakout rooms with 3 different speakers talking about what they're experts on. His room was always packed and everybody leaving saying, this guy is genius. What is his connection? I mean, anybody who I brought to those conferences, everybody asked me, how can I connect with him? So this guy is genius. So yeah. And the next person I wanted to introduce is Jackie. We met with her just recently, and she is the answer to my prayers for the last 3 years. Because for the last 3 years, I was looking for the company that is doing what they're doing. And I'm so thrilled that they actually connected with me. They connected with me. And we now working together, developing the opportunities for people with type 2 diabetes to actually get the service, get the help, and that will be also covered with their insurance. So, Jackie, the mic is yours.
Hi, everyone. Pleasure to be here. Nice to meet you all and learn more about your businesses. As Irina mentioned, Jackie Will with MD Watch. My background's been a mix of healthcare and finance, a lot of work in the Medicare space, working with remote patient monitoring, chronic care management services. I used to work for a company that developed the software that we use in our company today. And today with MD Watch, what we're focused on is helping patients, senior patients specifically, better manage their diabetes from home with remote monitoring of the data that's collected from continuous glucose monitors, assign nurse practitioners to educate patients and meet with patients on a monthly basis. And really, it's all about being an extension of the providers that they see in person. So their primary care endocrinologists, being an extension of those providers so that these folks are getting the help they need in between office visits. We know those doctors are overwhelmed and there's not enough of them out there to manage all. So we've created a program to help manage these patients at scale.
You see what I'm talking about?
I see. Awesome. Thank you all for being here. And Irina, once again, thank you for being here and for bringing folks together. So let's just have a little chat here and see where it goes, okay? So, I mean, you're all doing different things. I thought for a moment it might all be medical, but it really isn't. So I want to take a more generic approach, if you will. And let's start off with how important has collaboration been to you? And aside from the relationships here in this room already, how important has it been to you? And what are some of the specific benefits that you've received from collaborating with others? I want to amend that. Benefits you've received or provided. How others have benefited from collaborating with you, as well as how you've benefited from collaborating with others. And feel free to just unmute and let's talk about it.
Okay, I'll go first because I like going first.
Awesome, Marilyn. I love it.
That way they can, if they're, I get to say it first, whereas they'll have to come up with something more creative. For me, the biggest value of collaboration is collaborating with a variety of people.
Can you pause for just a second, Marilyn? We are getting an echo, so if everybody will mute besides Marilyn.
Okay.
Okay, Marilyn.
So I think, the old saying goes, more brains are better than one. And so brainstorming and getting feedback, if you're not getting feedback on the stuff that you're working on from the target audience, but also from other people with different views and different thinking patterns, you're missing out. I mean, you can really shorten the path of where you want to get and what you want to deliver by collaborating with people who can give you lots of great ideas. And I'm not as good on wordsmithing, so I like to connect to people. I've got great ideas, I've got great processes, but the wordsmithing isn't my forte. So I always jump on the bandwagon with people who can give me the words to use. It's like, oh, that sounds great, I got to write that down. I like that tagline.
Can you think of a particular instance where either you benefited from collaborating with someone or you know that the other person really benefited?
So, actually in a combination. So as far as I have business coaching experience also, not different than Daniel's. Mine's more the individual entrepreneur who's just launching business.
Right?
Um, so from me giving, I am the business trainer. So I do a lot of the business modules within the community, and can really give back to the individuals in the class and really challenge them to look at their business differently. Or again, and actually, I come up with some good things to say. So so I can come up with the words. And that's where my energy, I love giving that back. I have lots of years of business experience. Just recently, I have not been on LinkedIn much. And because my target audience is there, the working career people, I found out working with marketing person in a digital marketing person in our community, and he says, oh, they've got audio rooms now, I can just see it, story time with Marilyn. And I was like, oh God, that sounds so great. So he's like, you can just tell your parenting stories of the different things that happened to you along the way while you were climbing the ladder.
That's fantastic. I love that. Story
Yeah.
time with Marilyn. I can't wait.
Yeah. I'll
Awesome.
let you know.
I didn't know they had that either, though. So
Audio room.
audio
Regina,
rooms.
we're talking about John. He
Yes.
already been on a podcast with me, and then he was co-hosting as well,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Okay.
Mhm.
Very good.
Same person.
Yeah. Very good. Awesome. All right. Who else would like to unmute and share?
I think.
Jackie.
Oh,
Yeah, go ahead, Joe.
no,
Jack,
I was just gonna say.
combined your name.
That's okay. I was just going to say for us, most recently, we've been doing a lot of collaboration with outside marketing folks. And for us, or for me specifically, as being a small business and a startup, that's not something that's necessarily in my wheelhouse or something that I'm great at, or what I think was good marketing wasn't good marketing. And I have 15 different call to actions instead of one when we're trying to nurture leads and get them through, workflow into the place that we want them to be to understand what we do and whatnot. So I think in our own business and what we're doing, just having that collaboration with others that are the subject matter experts, it's important to, be good at what you need to be good at, but then also let those that are experts in their own craft take over, what they're good at, because together then you can really make something that's great. So
Awesome. And I hear huge echoes coming from Daniel on that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Most
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, and small businesses need so much support. It takes so many different services, if you will, to run a business. And as you get larger, some of those services come in-house. But as you're a small business, you have to look for those services outside of your own organization. One of the things I talk about when I talk about exit planning is that every business should have a board of directors But you may be small enough in your business, you don't need a full-on board of directors. You may need a strategic advisory board. And every business should have a strategic advisory board. And especially as you're going into exit planning, so many business owners don't think about this. They think about only a handful of them. You should have your lawyer, your accountant, maybe a banker, if the business owner has thought that far ahead to be thinking about a banker. But there's so many other roles that should be on a strategic advisory board that business owners don't think about. Your insurance agent should be included. Your financial planner should be included. If you're thinking about exiting your business and retiring, definitely your financial planner should be involved in that. And the family definitely needs to be part of those conversations and needs to be part of that strategic advisory board. You should have a conversation with your family and say, hey, I'm thinking about leaving the business and I'm going to be home a lot more. They might say, get a hobby.
Don't spring it on them. I'm home.
Right. But yeah, there are always potential collaboration partners there. And just recently, I had a conversation. I've made contact with an accounting bookkeeping firm here locally, and was talking with them about business structuring and how you can structure your business in such a way to reduce taxes and protect assets, just the way the wealthy do. But if you're smart and you understand the tax code, anybody can do it, any size business. Right. And she happened to bring a referral to me, and she said, I'm working with this gentleman and he's asking me lots of questions, and you've already proven to me you're the expert. So let's get together and talk about it. So I shared information with her. That was a cross collaboration. I think we both benefited from having that conversation with her client.
It sounds like it. You made me think, Daniel, when my husband passed away, we had a bed and breakfast, and he and I were looking at buying the house next door and remodeling it and making a lake house rental out of that. And we actually had an appointment with the owners of the house like 2 weeks from when he passed away. And so I had to decide what I was going to do moving forward. Was I going to go forward with that or not? And that was the first time I brought an advisory board. And I called a few key people that I knew that I trusted their opinion and their experiences. And one was a former banker who had retired at that point, but I trusted him implicitly, and some other folks, so that I had a sounding board. I had people that I could talk to about it and get other opinions. That's extremely powerful and beneficial to me. So I appreciate you bringing that up. That's a really valid point that most of us don't think about. No. Very good. Colleen?
Yeah, so one of the things I love to do is be that resource person for my clients and people we interact with, right? And I think in doing that, creating those collaborative relationships with other people are great, because I tell people all the time, it's like you don't know who you meet at a networking group might turn into that next best connection that's going to introduce you to a whole new world of stuff that you'd even know existed. And you just don't know, right? It might be just that one passing comment that you make to somebody who then introduces you to somebody who introduces you to somebody who now you're on a podcast, right? You just never know where those connections will turn up. I have somebody that I connect with another social platform, Be Connected, who introduced me to the organizer, author of the Art of Connection book series. So I had the opportunity to write a page in the book that's going to be coming out in the first of the year. And then through that, I've met hundreds of different authors that have been in the book, and you just never know where that's going to lead, and different things that you'll be able to do. And we're doing book signings in New York and things like that. So as I tell people, is you just never know who that next connection is going to be. So if you go to a networking event and there's 3 people, have those great conversations with those 3 people. I tell people there's never a bad meeting, because one of those people might turn out to be your next best connection, right? You don't have to always think that, oh, I went to a networking meeting and there wasn't 20 or 50 people there, right? Oh, it wasn't great. Look at those connections that you're making.
Yeah, absolutely. And be open, right? Being
Mhm.
really open. Thank you. Appreciate that. Irina.
Well, to me, this is such an easy topic because this is seriously, how do I know Regina? Because somebody just mentioned earlier, Regina, Barbara Ellison introduced me to her. I
Yep.
got introduced to Barbara Ellison through different connections on the event where we happened to be together. So then Regina showed me different world that is available out there, because I've been just ambling around, don't know what to do uh, in this business world that I just entered. I've never thought about having my business, and so I listened to her. I listened to people who she's inviting, where she's connecting, and then I eventually went to meet with mingle people, and now here I am. We are all there collaborating. We are collaborating because we have so many different experts on different topics. And when I need, Marilyn said she's not wordsmith. Talking about wordsmith, it's me. I not only that I know a lot of words, but how to connect them together, that's a challenge. So for me, it's a great opportunity to meet with different people. And Daniel helped me with some words, and Colleen helped me with some words, and multiple other people, Marilyn included. She is not a good wordsmith for herself, but she is very good helping others. So, so just that, it's for me. I am constantly receiving these benefits of belonging to this community. And with the words that I'm crafting, and some people volunteer to work on my speech, so I'm not sure how much clearer it's now, but it's probably better than it was 3 years ago. Colleen is the one to judge. Uh, Point being that now when I can say it more clearer, not just pronunciation, but to deliver the message, I believe that people who I serve also understand better what I meant. And that helps our communication. And people are coming back saying thank you for, being the right person, the right time to point out this to me, or to help me to find the solution for that. So that's for me, this is all collaboration all around, and I'm happy to participate in it and be as much of service as I can and help.
And would you say, Irina, that your Facebook group of 150,000 people, that there isn't a collaboration going on there?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's, if you visited this Facebook group, I know Marilyn and Jackie were there. It's not just, I mean, I'm in the group every day. I have a little talk every day. I have some posts there every day. It's not just me talking there. We have this many people, and we have so many different conversations going on, and people figuring out, members who never knew about existence of each other. They are collaborating. They finding the solution for the challenge they are facing at the moment. Maybe to find what to cook for breakfast, maybe to find what exercises are good in this hot or cold area. What can you do? Maybe just looking what doctors to see to, because of the challenge they are facing. So
Yeah,
collaboration there is going on all the time.
all
And
the time.
it's actually pretty impressive to see how people who got help, they got better, and they don't leave. They stay
Yeah,
there to support and pull out from the low point the others who just found their diagnosis. So yes.
I think that's a really important point, though, is that collaboration isn't necessarily about what we are going to get out of it, right? It's what are we contributing? How is somebody else benefiting? And I think that sometimes maybe those who are sitting on the sidelines are not seeing it quite that way. They're thinking, okay, what am I going to get if I do this? What should be that attitude? What should we be looking at in terms of an effective collaboration? Maybe you just met this person. What should you be doing? What should you be looking at or attempting?
This is the question.
This is the question.
Daniel?
Well, I'll chime in. You look like you're on the spot there, Irina. I got you. So I think an effective collaboration begins with a mutual understanding of what we're trying to accomplish together. So that's where you have to start. And once we agree that collaboration doesn't have to be anything major, we're not going to sit down and come up with a whole strategic plan and do a
right.
long-term goals setting, that kind of thing to agree on what we're achieving together. It can just be as quick as, hey, we're all here together in this room talking about collaboration. There we go. There's our goal. So that's what we're collaborating on. So that's where it begins. And then I think there is a tendency a lot of times for people to hang back and say, oh, gee, I don't have anything to contribute. But we have to get to the point where we realize we do have something of value. And as conversation goes along, you may think that at the beginning you don't have anything to contribute. But as things develop, you're going to have ideas, you're going to have experiences. You can go ahead and chime in and respond. And even if you don't feel confident in what you're saying, phrase it in the form of a question and say, what do you think about this? Or can you explain that a little bit more? That's also collaborative to try to draw more information out of other people as well. Even if you don't think you can contribute, you can still ask those deeper questions and cause more understanding to happen within the collaboration.
100% agree. Anybody else? Some comments on that? What's the goal when you are looking at a potential collaboration? What are we looking for?
I think, just to talk about basics, it's listening. Your goal is to listen. Your goal is to understand. So what is this person really saying to you? It's our human nature to be thinking, oh, I could add this, or I could do this, or I could contribute this. And the point is that if you're really truly there to network or get to know somebody and understand what they're working on, and maybe it's not a connection. That's the other thing too. It's that maybe you don't gel with this person. It's okay not to want to connect with that person. So, I mean, what you're looking for is the same, some common energy, some common enthusiasm, and really asking, tell me more about that. What do you mean? And then, that's the basic of introducing yourself in a collaborative fashion, is to see if time is worth going on and spending, more time at it. And maybe it's introducing them to someone else that that is more appropriate and could be of more value to them.
And isn't listening probably the most important asset at that moment that you have, in order to be listening to their needs, hearing their needs, and searching through your database of people that could be a good partner for them. So we don't always get collaboration ourselves, but we're able to introduce somebody. Go ahead, Marilyn, finish that.
And also, I think the next step too is restating it to them, because sometimes they don't hear what they're saying. And so it's part of, like Irina says, I got a lot of words, but I may not be using them correctly in the right sentences in the right order. So if you restate what you heard and say, I just want to make sure I understand correctly, and you restate to them what it is you heard in your own words, using some of their words, but then they understand, oh no, is that what I said? They might say, oh, that was pretty good. Yeah. For sharing. Or they might say, oh no, you got it, but let me tweak it a little bit here, or I think I need to add a little more depth here. And then you give them the opportunity to fine tune what they're saying to you.
I love that. And isn't that the real essence of listening, is when you can state it back to them and they say, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
My
Irina?
husband really gets mad at me when I do it to him because he goes, how do you know what I'm going to say? I said, because you already told me 3 times. Okay, well, what am I going to say? And I tell him, and he goes, oh, okay, I guess you know what I was going to say. Sometimes I'm wrong, but most of the time I have been listening, honey, and you just don't know it. So let me tell you what you're about to tell me for the 3rd time.
Irina, you had something to add there.
I wanted to say that this, Colleen already mentioned it earlier. I personally do love, and I did a lot of it during the COVID, going to different networking events, different, and meet with people in different breakout rooms. And I had a big notepad that I will be writing, okay, Colleen, I need to connect her with this person. Marilyn, she will be perfect for this conversation. Daniel, yes, somebody just asked about someone like Daniel. Let them know about it. I just loved doing that. And then okay, what about me? Well, okay, this time I'm just serving others. And I think I was having more fun doing this, especially when those connections will grow into something. Remember, Regina, you had for a while a podcast on grief with Lee.
Yeah, with Lee Atherton. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I kind of thought, oh, Regina is writing a book about it, and Leah is the person who is an expert on it. Let me put them together. And before I know it, they have a podcast. And I was like, that worked. So yeah,
I forgot that you introduced this. Yeah, it's such a joy, actually, when you get to make those connections, isn't it? And you get to impact lives. One of my favorite things, and everybody who's ever heard this show at all knows that it's being part of that ripple effect. That when you introduce 2 other people and they're able to do something great together, now they go out and change lives, and you're part of the ripple. They wouldn't have met if you hadn't. Barb Ellison, that introduced Irina and I, Barb and I are still doing things together today, and Irina and I get together periodically and do things. And so, you just never know where those relationships are going. You all belong to I'll call it a networking group at the moment. I know it's more than that. But what's your advice to people in terms of how they broaden their horizons for these collaborations? How important is it to be involved in local or global or national or whatever networking groups to expand those horizons? Jackie, I'd love to hear from you again.
Let me unmute myself. Yes, I mean, I think, for us being a startup, having the collaboration and outside resources to use is huge for building our brand awareness. Unless we have, platforms that we can utilize to get the word out, it's all word of mouth advertising, marketing efforts that go into who's MD Watch, what do they do? And so, yeah, I would say leveraging those resources is hugely valuable. And being a part of networking groups, like I think all of us have said, you never know who knows someone else and how those connections can tie back together and benefit one another.
I love that word, leveraging.
Yes. Yeah.
Because that really is what it's about, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Colleen, you have some thoughts on that?
Yeah, just like everyone's saying, it's creating those connections and and looking at what is your best group, right? It's really looking at, not just going to any particular, just, there's lots and lots and lots of networking things out there, and just kind of sitting back and understanding, well, what's the best group for me, right? And a lot of my clients, I do that work for them, right? It's I go to so many because I love it, right? I love networking, I love meeting people. So that way they come to me and I go, oh, well, you should go to this group because it's all women and that's who your target market is, right? You should go to this group because they're small business owners and so forth. So really kind of getting to know all the different groups so that you're just not going to a group with no purpose, right? You really should have an intention when you go to any of the networking things you're doing, any of the meetings you're doing. What's my intention, And I tell people a lot of times they're like, um, don't go with like, oh, I need to make a sale, right? Because that's hardly ever going to happen, right? You want to go in with, I just want to get 3 great conversations out of this, right? And look, I want to make 3 great new connections. And look at that. And we were talking about introducing people, but collaborative can also be those little things of sharing people's posts and doing this, all the stuff that doesn't
Yep.
cost any money per se is do a review for someone, do a testimonial. That goes so far, especially with small business owners, right? If you're doing group posting, or if you're kind of collaborating in that sense in this way, because a lot of times I know at networking groups people will ask for, what do you want? And they'll say, well, I need a client that does X, Y, right? Well, I just met you, right? So it's going to be hard for me to have that know, like, trust, and remember factor if I just met you. I'm not going to give
Yeah.
you a client right away out the door.
Right.
If you asked me to go, like, go connect with you on LinkedIn, or go watch your podcast, or, do, in those small little things that people can do, that's easy. And that's an easy yes for someone to do. And then that starts that collaboration that you're going to do. And as that relationship builds, then your collaboration will build even farther.
Agreed.
I want to add to this one.
Please do.
Belonging to the community. In this community where we are all from, most of us are hosting our events, expos, the conferences, different events. And it's interesting because initially we all met at one conference that was repeating in certain, again and again. And the funny part is that from there, all of us, by participation and trying different roles, and moderator and trainer and presenter and roundtable participant, trying different roles, you start recognize that you can actually have your own event. And we start working on creating your own event. And once that is done, so we had the event where we all participated. Then I branched out and started having my expos. And then some other people in the group said, oh, Irina is doing this. Let me do this too. So right now we have multiple people working on events that they are, on a topic where they good at, where they know the most connections. So they
Right.
could bring most experts to expand the reach. So this is when you belong to the community and you see what other people do, you start thinking, can I do that? Maybe I will do the same thing, just with my personal twist, my personal flavor. So this is a great opportunity to do it in a community, to collaborate and say, Marilyn, you did that. How did that work out? Oh, it didn't work out. Okay, I will not do that. Okay, how? So, all those experiences are important. And it's great when you have people that you trust, that you
Yes.
see how they are conducting their business, their processes, to see what did they learn from this experience? Do I need to go this route, or maybe there is another way? Because when you experienced, and especially if you didn't like it, you already started thinking how I can do it differently. And I am not ready yet to apply it to my activities, but somebody else can start using it right away. So this is all collaboration on different, development tools, or I don't know, processes. So that's
Excellent.
my 5 cents.
Okay, I
Well,
get
to sum up but to
Toss a
sum up
coin.
the culture of the Mingle Collaborative community, we sum it up like this. We say we are real people offering real help in real time. And we
Love
do
that.
that multiple ways. Someone will host a get it done session, a GSD. Yeah, I know I didn't say that. Get it done. Somebody will say, I've got too many emails in my inbox and they're all old. I need to clean it out. So everybody come join me. We're going to do a get it done session. We're just going to clean out old emails or anything. It could be anything at all. And then everybody will say, yeah, that's really good. I'll join you. And so that we all get in a room together and somebody will say, well, isn't there an easier way to grab a bunch of emails and just delete them all at once? And then someone else will say, yes, here's how you do that. Let me show you. And so everybody just chimes in. Or you'll be sitting here staring at the computer screen going, oh, how do I wordsmith this? And you go, oh, I could go get into the Zoom, into the community, and I bet somebody is in there who I could ask and get some help. So
Thanks.
it's real people offering real help in real time.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Awesome.
So
Very
I
good.
just want to take it and boil it down to the basic needs of humans. Humans are social animals by nature. And
You
we,
think?
as part of that, being around people is how we evolve. It's part of our, how we grow and evolve. So, if my husband says, "Oh, just want to be a recluse," and he reads and stuff, but you can only get so much from reading. Where interaction really challenges your intellect more. So I think the thing is, we're also energized by each other. So
Yes.
being together in the community, that's the number one thing I love about the community. I need energy. I go to the community and just talk to one person and I'm ready to go because I've been plugged in and energized. Whereas sitting at my desk by myself, staring at my screen, oh, I think I'll work on these papers over here, or I'll do this over here. It's just, there's so much about that nature of social gathering in
Yeah.
how you energize and contribute and all grow together.
And I think the commonality of your group also it makes energy higher, right? That you're
Mhm.
all kind of on this, even though you're all doing something different, you're all on this same path. And that alone is energizing to know that you have a group of people that you're doing this with, right? Well, folks, we're about out of time here. We're going to start our wrap up round. And I'm going to call on Miss Irina to run the wrap up round for us. So, Irina, you will call each person to share their final thoughts on collaboration and their contact information. And while you do that, I will put their contact information into the comments for folks. And so, would you do that, please? And be sure to include yourself in that group. Whether you want to go first or last is up to you.
All right. Well, I will start, and then Colleen will be the next, and I'll just repeat the same loop as we started. So I will start. One thing that I am not anxious, excited to talk about is the fact that we just relaunched my webpage, www.smartmove360.com. It's still in progress. It still has work to be done, but it's out there so more people can connect with us, with our services that we're providing, can learn about us. We have experts who are available to communicate with and help to people who need help in managing their diabetes journey. So that's me. And the next one will be Colleen.
And your
Colleen.
and you gave your contact. Yes.
Yes.
Very good.
Smartmove360.com.
Yes.
Well, thank you so much. It's been a great conversation, I think, about collaboration. I love when we, like we were saying, just connecting, right? So think of collaboration, I just want you to think of like connections are key. So think about that when you're out there, you know, what connection can I make? How can I support somebody else in their path? And in turn, that someone else in the world is thinking, how can I support that person, right? So it will go around all there. Love to connect with you guys. You can find me out there on LinkedIn or go to fallinlovewithfollowup.com. And I also put my chat, jump on a call with me, and let's see who we can connect you with.
All right, Marilyn.
All right. So you can reach out and easily get on my calendar at my website, marilyn-robinson.com. And I am also on LinkedIn as Marilyn Life Designer. So you can find me on LinkedIn.
All right. Thank you, Daniel. What about you?
So final thoughts, I'll start with that. Final thoughts about collaboration. I know a lot of times we feel like we need to do something ourselves. It's risky to reach out and ask for help. It's risky to meet with someone else and work together. But let me remind you, nothing great in the world was ever done alone. It always takes a team. So bite the bullet, get over it, get over your fear. If you want to get anything done, you're going to have to collaborate. Ways to reach me. Best way to reach me is probably by email these days, and it's real easy. You see my name here under under my head, wherever it is. It's just daniel@mccrane.com. But give me a call. You can check out my website if you want. It's new too.
Perfect. Thank you. Jackie, your turn, please.
All right. So final thoughts on collaboration. I personally have seen the value so much in my operation and everything that I do about, learning everyone's strengths and what they're good at and using those to benefit the better good of what we're working on. So truly and highly value collaboration with others. And best place to reach me is by email. And if you're interested in MD Watch and our services or learning more, of course, check out our website at mdwatch.io.
Fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you all for being here. Irina, thank you again for being co-host today and for bringing these wonderful people in this panel. And with that, folks, we're going to say goodbye for today. Please join us again next time on Collaboration Conversations. Bye for now.
Mm-hmm.